my crafty friends. NanaKaye here with NanaKayeDesigns.com and the Altered Book Nook on Etsy.com. I'm still working on my Winter Garden Journal. Still winter here in Eastern North Carolina. And I am going to work on my Centerfold today. Again, I've got a beautiful designer page here, but I don't want to cover up the design itself. So we're going to work on using the pattern of the design itself to make what we want to make here. What I want to do on my centerfold is I want two pockets. I want a pocket on this side, and I want a pocket on this side with large journaling cards in each pocket. Simple process. So first step is decide what kind of pocket and what shape you want your pocket and make yourself a template. Okay, next step is make sure you've copied an extra page on kind of lightweight or a little bit heavier cardstock, anything between a 67-pound U.S. grade cardstock or 110-pound U.S. grade cardstock, okay? I don't know what the poundage weights are in other countries, so this is a U.S. grade 110 here. Okay, so what I will do first is make sure, sort of, that this is lined up, and it is. So this is basically exactly like this. So I'm going to set my book aside a minute, and I'm going to go ahead and cut my two pockets. The first pocket is going to come on this side, and I'm simply going to draw it and cut it. Now you could just go ahead and take your blade and cut it if you wanted, but I'm going to do it this way so that I can see if I can use one sheet to make both my pockets without any issues. So there's my first one. Then I want to flip this over, flip my template over and do the other side. Real simple, guys. I just told you it was a simple process, and this is it. It won't be a long video because these processes are simple. All right. So we're going to go with this right here. It's going to be a little different look on that side because the bird is not getting captured, okay? Now, if you wanted to capture the bird on this one too, you can't because it's not that way in my book. But anyway, that's what that's going to look like. We're going to really concentrate on this piece here, and we're going to concentrate on this piece on this side. Just a little different look. All right, so let's cut out. Okay, put our simple aside. Let's cut out our little tweets. And I've laid my scissors down that quickly. I have a certain pair I like to cut with. I like my heavy scissors. Okay, so here we go. Let's cut the first pocket out and at least get our pockets like we originally want them. I copied four pages of this on cardstock. This particular print. Whatever print you're using, you can use this with any and all designer kits. It doesn't have to be any specific kit that I'm using or I design. It can be any kit that you have in stock. Okay. All right. So there is that. That's the center pockets. And we're going to not lose our design. As you see, we're not losing our... Oh, let me turn this back over. As you see, when you place these onto your centerfold, you're not losing your design, but you can utilize these two pages because you've made elements out of the pages. So you will try to line these up when you glue them down as closely as possible to the original content, and you have kind of a hidden pocket on both sides. Okay, so that's what you do. You line it up to your original content, and when you glue it down. All right, so I'm going to take and put my book aside again. I'm going to lay my two pockets aside a minute. I'm going to do something else before we jump back on that. I am going to cut the rest of the elements out of this page. I do not want to waste them. So I'm going to cut some basic elements out, and these will be used to do some decorating. I've cut a little bit of this one off, so it's a little different, but it's okay. It still can be utilized. All right, so, and since the video is going to be a little short, I will let y'all See me do a little cutting. I've been trying to cut out all the excess work, but it's kind of a good idea sometimes, especially for new people, to show them exactly what's entailed in doing these books. They are fun, guys. If you're new to my channel, I appreciate you being here, and I hope you'll subscribe, and I hope you guys will start making comments, because when you don't make comments, the algorithm does not pick up my channel and start distributing it more. It's when you guys make comments that helps my algorithm. So if you don't mind, if nothing else, just say hello or something in my comments, and it does help me. And of course, watching the whole video also helps, but if I get too boring, I apologize. I try not to be boring in this, and I do try to bring somewhat new ideas to ideas other people have shown you. This is a new one for me. I don't know if anybody else has ever done their pages like this, to be able to utilize the journal pages like this. I've not seen it if it's being done. But this is how I capture the design, the original design, and not lose it, but still have a working element within that design. All right, that one's cut out. All right, let me show you what we'll do. All right, here's one of the pockets. This is a basic design, and I'm not sure if it's exact, so I'm going to look. Yes, it's pretty close to what's up there. So what I will do with this pocket here, and if I wanted to get rid of that space there, I would do it there, but I think I'm going to do it right here on top. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a little tuck spot here. So I'm only going to glue the lower portion of this on there. So what I do is just kind of make me a sharp line across there. And if you want your paper a little thicker, you could actually put something behind another, stick this onto another white sheet and cut it. But I think this is sufficient for just a lightweight tuck spot. So now I've got a tuck spot on the front of the first pocket, right there. All right. Now, if you wanted to add a little more something to it, you can put lace on your pocket. Let me see if I got a little bit of lace that will work. I don't want anything that's got a lot of movement to it. All right, this one's kind of cute, so let's take a look at it and see. Okay. Yeah, I kind of like this one, okay? I like this lace, but the problem is we got an odd angle here, so I got to try to get this lace on that way. So I'm going to do something kind of strange probably to you guys. I'm going to cut my edge off there, and the first thing I'm going to do is just cut me a piece right here. This one little part of the design I'm going to cut off right here. This is a very small, intricate piece. Let's hope my Fabri-Tac is working today. It has been very cold. We've had another major winter storm. That's why I ended up missing a few days this past week. Yeah, we had a major storm hit us Wednesday. So Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday was really rough here. Horrible ice storm. We didn't have a lot of snow, but bad ice. So we had to actually go to our other job, our motel, stay there. And I have no equipment there, so I wasn't able to visit with you guys those 3 days. So I apologize, but I'm here now. All right, and then I'm going to take this piece again, or my ribbon, or my lace, sorry. And then I'm going to come here and start it at an angle. Now, if you guys know a better way to do this as neater, that's fine. I don't. I could have twisted it and it would have made a lot of bulk there, and that's what I'm always trying to stay away from is bulk. So I'm actually going to do a whole line with rum glue. And I'm so glad that my very arch tool, let me grab my, I don't know what I've done with my stand. I've got a stand my husband made me where I can keep my glue upside down, but I don't know what I've done with it. But it's coming out pretty fast. Make me a good long stream of Fabri-Tac. That's what I'm using, Fabri-Tac. Down this edge one more time, just so I got a good glue edge. And again, I'm going to start right up here and kind of seal where we did that overlap. All right. Now you can, if you want to make this a little more dimensional, you can cut a bird out and raise him up. And I think I will show you what I'm talking about. That's going to take a minute to dry, so we're probably going to work on the other pocket. But I'm going to come on in and trim my lace off. And I put enough fabric tack on this edge to seal these edges. So that's another thing you want to be sure of, is that your edges are nice and sealed. So this is the back. I'm just pressing down. So I've got my lace on my pocket for my centerfold. All right, let's cut a bird out. And that's just all that bird is doing, is just giving me a little bit of dimension here. No other purpose. There's really no other purpose to it. But this is why I use so many sheets. I cut out pieces from it to utilize it. So I'm going to make another little element for this page without losing my design. Now you can also add other stuff to it. When you got this real white space, you could come in and add a label, a stamp, some word art, whatever you want to do, okay? But this is just giving you some ideas of how I do it. Okay, I just wanted to dimensionalize my bird a little bit. And I don't know if I have any foam dots, but give me just a second. Let me see if I got any cardboard close by, because I want to raise him up just a little. Man, I don't see any cardstock. Heavy cardstock's what I'm looking, guys. Just give me a real quick second here. Aha! I knew. Usually I have something around here. Okay, let me clip a piece of this off and I'll show you how I dimensionalize some things. Okay, I got a piece of cardboard. Okay, and what I'm going to do is cut me a strip, maybe two, just little squares like this. Glue them to the back of the bird, like so. Okay. If you got foam dots, they work. I don't spend money on them when I can make my own. I have so many old pieces of cardboard like this from groceries that I buy. So yeah, I reuse all my boxes, guys. And this is what I do. So that gives me a little bit of a three-dimensional angle here, as you see. And I'm going to put that on, line it up. And there you go. So there's a piece of clip art with him 3D'd a little. You probably can't see it as well, but he has been dimensionalized. You can see it from the side. He's a little bit dimensionalized. So it just gives you a little more look for things that you want to do. I'm going to look up here and see if there's any chance. I do have some word art right here, and let me show you what I mean by word art. Okay. I don't want anything too Christmassy on this page, so I'm looking to see what I have. Generosity. There's nothing wrong with the word generosity. And this is what I mean by word art. You can come in here and put your word art, glue that as an extra piece. And that's what I'm going to do. Now this was in the kit, so this is still part of the Carolyns Musings winter. But this is her Christmas garden. I call it Winter Garden because I'm doing it beyond Christmas, and I'm trying not to make it too Christmassy. I'm trying to make it wintry. So there is that, and I'm going to glue it. I like it, so I'm going to glue it, and I probably will do something similar on the other side, but not identical, because we want our pockets a little bit different on both sides. Okay, so there's the word generosity. All right, so let's see how this looks. All right, let's go into our book. I'll tell you what, let's do it the easy way. Let's pull the centerfold out, and let's lay pocket in. Get a good look at it. Make sure that we cut it in a way we can still close our page. We did. All right, so now I am going to glue on this edge here. I'll make sure I'm in the frame because I did enlarge it a little. Glue down this frame here, side of the pocket, and glue down this pocket, side pocket. I just want to frame out just the edges. And when I say frame out, what I mean is I don't want anything in the center because I am going to add a large journaling card in here. So I want plenty of room to slide my next piece in. All right, back to our page. And yes, I do cover my corner protector up, but my corner protector is there for protecting the corner, not necessarily for any art reason. It's just simply there for protection. So I don't mind covering my corner up because I still know it's there, and I know my page is well protected even with the corner thing. So if you don't want that, it does add a little more bulk, but that doesn't bother me. All right, guys, so the first half of our journal page is in, and as you see, we have not lost any of our design. We still have the basic design. When you look at the page, you're not losing your design. Now, again, you could take this piece here. As you see, I have this one, and you can three-dimensionalize the page a little bit, and I'm going to do that again, so you're going to get to watch me cut again. Just please bear with me. I would speed it up if I knew how, but I don't know how to speed it up on the video, so it's just watching NanaKaye cut. I don't ink the edges of these or anything because I don't want it to stand totally out, but even though I want to give it a little texture, and that's what this is doing. When you start cutting out designs like this that you're going to glue back flat to the design, all that's doing is giving it a little texture. And I have found that a lot of people look at these books just love to be able to touch and feel, and it's not just seeing, it's touching and feeling. It's using all the senses. Hey, even if you wanted to put some scented stuff in your book, that would help because that gets the sense of smell involved. So that's what I mean when you're journaling. It's a good idea to get your customers to use as much of their senses when they're looking at your designs or touching your books or feeling. I'm trying to decide, but I think I'm going to cut that leaf off because it will show up from behind. Now this is a matter of choice when you start cutting out your patterns like this, when you cut out what you are going to use. Don't have to be precise because, like I say, you're going to put it right on top of the other one, so anything that you cut off is going to show up from the background. It's going to give it depth. All right, I'm almost around this corner here. Now let's go in here and figure out the pattern here. All right, it goes just like that. That's the pattern. I'm going to glue it completely down, all the way, because all I want is just a little texture here, nothing more. That's all I'm doing here for. It's just giving the top part of my page a little texture. There will be a journal piece that goes over the top of that, because the journal card is going to go over most of it anyway, but like I say, it still gives me a little texture for my customers when they get the book. Make sure all these little edges are down. That's another important thing when you're gluing. These edges, you don't want anything to catch on them, so make sure you glue the edges down. And when you glue down, you can recheck. All right, so we're going right here, right here, right here. We did not lose our design at all, as you see, but it gave me a little bit of texture. It's very visible in the reel. Now, I don't know how visible it is in the camera because I matched it so tightly, but when you touch it, you can feel the difference right there. Okay, so that's what we've done there. We've added that, and we still didn't lose our design. All right, next step is our card. But I think I'm going to do my other pocket first, and then we'll do our card last, because I am not happy with the bird's little belly showing like this. So I'm hoping the lace is going to cover most of that up. Guys, I have not pre-done this, so you're seeing this done by me for the first time. So let's go with the lace first before we start deciding how we're going to do our pattern. All right, grab our lace. Again, I'm going to cut one small piece right there. So I will cut it here. And where I had cut off that other edge, I'm going to cut it again because I don't want that. I want it to be exactly like the way I did that one, if I can, or as close as I can. Cut it there. I that fabric tag. Don't freeze up on me. A little chilly in here today. I had cut my heat down to 65 and it's taking it a few minutes to warm up. All the 65 is not horrible for me. I have got my sweatshirt on, if you guys see it sticking out here. All right, let me see how far down I've put that. Okay, just that part. Just that part sticking up. Okay, got that. One more strip, and then that'll tell me. I think that's pretty much going to cover my bird belly, which is exactly what I wanted to do. There we go. So we are good with that. So let's go right here. Cut this. Template, we don't need you right now. All right, and a nice, good piece of glue down the center here. It seems like my allergies are trying to cut up, or either I'm trying to get another bad cold, y'all. I apologize. I can sniffle it a little. I don't like to do that on video because you can definitely hear it. Caught that on my last video. All right, I think we got enough fabric tag. We're going to have to do a little bit more right here so the two pieces will adhere together. Right there. All right, starting there. Yep, starting right about there. That looks so nice to me. So I did get rid of most of the bird belly, so it's not that noticeable now. That's another thing. Be careful when your glue gets on your table not to get it on your design on the front if you can. And that's just me being particular sometimes. All right. All right, so number 2 is looking good, looking good. So there it is. All right. Even though the bird is just barely peeking out behind it. Not my favorite, but that'll still work because we're going to put a card in. Okay. So next step is put your lace back up because we're through with it, I think. So we'll set it aside, get my scraps up, keep my 3-dimensional piece of cardboard, my scraps, and see now there's another printed page on cardstock. Well, yeah, I'm going to make sure I get that back on for a second or two because you don't know how quick that stuff dries up. Okay, now we're going to have to decide if we want just another tuck or if we want to do something else. I think I'm going to stick with the plan. I want another tuck just like this one, but I want it on this side. So when you look at your design that you printed, it's going to be this one right here on this side. So we're going to cut this one out. And I am going to lay all that aside because I will use that paper for something else. There's still a lot of pieces on that I can use somewhere else in my book on other pockets that we have. So I save all my scraps until the very end. And I don't mean teeny pieces like this. I'm talking about this big piece here. I will save it till the end to make sure that we don't need any of those graphics before I toss it out. And for me, a lot of times, even if I don't use these two, I will cut them out and put them in my Christmas clip art, and I'll use them next year on something or the year after. Alright, so let's make this not so bulky because we want it for a tuck spot, so we don't want a lot of edges. And as y'all see me going around curves, you see me turning my paper. That makes your cutting way more precise. When you're cutting, you turn your paper, not your scissors. I keep my hand pretty steady with my scissors, and other than opening and closing them, I don't move my scissors hardly at all. I usually always move my artwork. All right. Now, let's see which way the pattern goes. It looks like it's down here, so that's good because we don't have a lot that's going to stick up there. And I think, guys, because I don't want a lot of tuck here, That one's got one. I think it'll be all right. We're going to go and we're going to glue this one down, just like these bottom edges of these three bottoms, and there's your tuck. So we're going to go with our regular glue, glue this down really good on this edge and all the way across, and the rest will be where we will tuck something in behind it, like so. All right, so now you have a tuck spot on your pocket here, and it's ready to go. If I had been designing this page for a Centerfold, normally I would have taken this half here and done a reverse so that it was an absolute reverse, but she didn't, and I'm using her kit. So again, Carolyns Musings Christmas Christmas Garden is the kit I'm using. So I did not do that on this one. Okay, now if you wanted to do it a little different than this side and not put another word here, maybe put a word up here, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do something else here. I'm going to take this bird right here, and I am going to cut out, let me see how I want to do that. I am going to cut out this much of the tree branch right here, just enough that it looks like he's standing on something. Okay, so cut that out. Then I'm going to cut this bird out. Again, if you'd rather have some edging around it, you can cut it this way and keep the edging. Myself, I don't want the edging. I don't want it to look like a sticker. If you want it to look like a sticker, then you cut a little bit of the frame out, okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and cut in here a little. And cut out some of that pine needle look right there. Okay. And let's see if it looks good to me. And I'll tell you in a minute if we're going to use it. I don't like his little feather sticking out there, so we're just going to round his head. Put him right here. Yep, I like that. So see, because I lost most of that bird, I'm going to put this one right here. And he can also, as a matter of fact, we can join him in and make him part of that tuck if we want to. You see what I'm saying? You can make him part of the tuck, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Since these berries are sticking out right here, it kind of blends. As you can see, it really blends. This is another thing. You'll be just judging by using your eyes what looks good to you, and that's what you do. Okay, so I am going to blend him right here with these berries, and I'm going to stick him down just part the way, and now I have added him to my tuck spot. So there he is, and I am actually going to glue his beak to that part of that leaf right there, so that that's what you end up with, and maybe his beak won't get torn. There you go, see? He's popping right up. Okay, so now we're going to glue this page down. Or this pocket, I said page, it's a whole page. Again, I like to frame out my pockets with just glue along these edges, because I want as much left in this center as I possibly can for my journal card. I'm going to get the journal card done in just a minute. Make sure everything's recording. And I am putting a good amount of glue because I want the pocket to really stick. And because of the cold weather, I just feel like I just need a little extra. When it's hot weather, you don't have to worry about this. But with cool weather, I have to get a little extra just to be sure. Okay, same thing. We're going to line it right along that edge where we actually have our page. Okay, so now we have our centerfold with pockets. Both pockets are in place. And I think that looks very nice. This will actually sit in the very center of our book, like so. And there you go. All right, so let's put it over and do our last little trick. Now, as I said, I will use the rest of these somewhere, possibly on the journal cards we're getting ready to make, or just in my other designs later. All right. Clearing the way now to make journal cards. I got 2 more pieces, so that's just in case I need it. Now, next step, journal cards. Again, we do not want to lose our design. So we're going to do our journal cards by seeing how much space we've got in here. So it's going to be about here and here. That's going to be my first cut. So I'm going to look at this again. That's about my first cut, I think. I'm going to put it down and just do a straight cut. I don't want anything cut out, nothing fancy, just a simple straight cut along that line. Line it up. That's why I love my board here. My blade. Cut this piece out. So this is the start of my first journal card. All right. Before we do anything else, we have to make sure everything is going to fit, and then we'll work on making it into a nice journaling spot. Okay, so we want this to slide down, and if it doesn't slide down to meet the other design, and if you see the bird's a little high, so we're going to cut a little bit off this bottom. We glued probably about a half inch, quarter inch was where the glue spread. I think I'm going to start with a little less, half inch, quarter inch, okay? Let's start with that first and see where we get, and if it needs to be more, we can cut more. Just remember, cut less off to start with, and you can always cut more off. A couple more steps and you might want to take, but it still makes things more precise. Okay, slide her in. Now let's see if our bird is going to be right about the right place. It is still a little off. That's okay. We're not going to spread it too much. The other thing we need is to cut just a tiny bit off this to make up. Okay, got to make up for this little bit of glue here off this edge. Now the only reason I'm doing that, it would probably slide in just like this, no problem. But I am trying to make it so it will match up exactly with the other, as close as possible to the other design, so that when you first open it, you don't realize, well, you just see the whole design. You don't want to lose your design. That's the whole purpose in the way I'm doing this. Okay, and there's all kinds of ways you can do these pockets and things to make this journal like this. All right, now it slides in perfectly and it's lining up pretty much. Still a little bit off there. Looks like it's lining up pretty much with that one. Okay, see, I'm looking right here to see if everything seems to be lining up, and it does. So when you're looking at the page, you still have not lost any design. There's a piece we cut off. You see a design within this. We're going to cut a little bit off this top, because this is a journal page. So I want you to be able to know when you open the book that you want to pull that out. But we're going to pull a little bit off this top, just a tiny bit. I don't want it all the way to the top of my page, and that's just me. You can do yours all the way to the top if you want to. That's up to you. But I'm going to cut a little bit off mine. My blade's getting dull, y'all excuse me. All right, so I feel like I am pretty much where I want to be with my pattern. There you go. All right, so I put my journal card in. It's matching up with that leaf up there, so when you look at the page, you are not losing any of the pattern. There's your card. All right, now for our journal card. You guys have followed me much. You know I like to have a lot of journaling space, so we're going to take this piece and we're going to take a piece that's back and forth. I got to make sure I got another double-sided, and I don't think I do, so I'm going to have to print one. I hate doing that. But while we are discussing this, my head's getting in, guys. While we're discussing this, I am going to print one, so bear with me just a second. Let me go in and find where I utilized it. I'm not sure where I did it. I thought it was on this one. Okay, give me just a minute. I hate to do it, but I'm going to have to put you on pause just a second. I've done real good. I haven't paused many times this time. Put this on pause for a second. Okay, guys, I'm back. I've got them printing, so you may hear my printer working in the background. But what I do for these is I take my pages I'm going to use, and I like a lot of journaling space, and if you follow me any at all, you know that is the way I go. So I want it to go down, tight. Grab one of my glue books. I don't want to get glue on my mat. So I'm going to glue the whole page with my stick glues. I'm using the Yoo-Hoo stick glue. Making sure I've got pretty much all of it here. Alright, put my glue book away for a minute. I'm going to line it up, top and bottom. No white space showing if at all possible. Okay. Get it on this side, make sure we are covered. Alright, I think we're good. Alright, so got my piece down. Now, your options here are, you got two options here. Alright, you can actually just go in and cut out, and then you'll have journaling spot on the back. For me, I like a fold out. Another piece is kind of interactive with it. Yeah, that's what you want. You want interactive, always, if possible. Lining up everything right across that edge. And once you've got everything lined up on that edge, you want to make sure that it's not sticking out beyond the card. Mine is just a tiny bit, and I'm not going to let that worry me too much. It's sticking out just a tiny bit. You can always just kind of take your paper and just kind of push it. You can manipulate the paper. See, I kind of pushed it a little like that and refolded, and that got it hidden. So now it's perfectly even across this edge. And that's what you're after if it's at all possible. Next one, you're going to kind of fold this up and kind of get an idea where your fold is. Now, there's two ways you can do this one. You can actually cut this piece, this fold off if you wish, or you can just fold it in and make another pocket in here, and that's what we're going to do today. On this side, we're going to make another pocket because this is our centerfold, and we really want it to look kind of cute, a little different than our other pages. My glue is starting to be a little thick, so give me a second. Let me clean out my tubing. All right. Oh yeah, much better. That's the way we like it. Come on out of there, glue. All right, we're going to glue this here, and that tells me I've got a little bit of a clog in there. I'll get it in a minute. Okay, now you got two options here, and I'm going to do one of the options. I'm going to measure, and I should have done it before I glued. When glue dries, I'll re-glue. Not a big deal. But I want to get an idea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I got 17. So 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 2. I want me to punch me a hole, right? A thumb, what I call thumb notch with my hole puncher. Just a little thumb notch. I'm going to center it. So that will tell whoever is looking at this that there is a pocket there. Of course, there'll be other pocket there because most likely you'll have something in there. Okay, so I did get a little glue on that, but that's okay. All right, there. There's your pocket. So we got a little pocket there. And we got to cut off this top edge right here. Okay, top edge is cut. All right, so now we've got the inside of our journal card done. Let's make sure it's going to go in without any issues. It did. We still can line it up according to that top up there. When you put it in the book, it's lined up. So there's that. Now, the other question is, do you want to do anything to this? This is very bland to me. So the first thing I'm going to do to help take away what looks very bland to me is I'm going to do large round corners. is my corner punch. And it's a little thick, so it argues with me a little bit, but we're going to get them. That's the first thing I'm going to do, to take some of the blandness out. And that's just me again. It's just my artist's eye looking to see what I see. There's that. And then I think I'm going to, since I've got plenty of space over here to make my other journaling card for this side, I'm going to set this piece aside. And I'm going to take my scraps that I've already used. And I think I'm going to dimensionalize a little bit of this. I would love to have another bird. But if we slide it in, we have to be careful. That's dimensionalizing this is a little tricky, because when you're sliding in, you don't want anything to capture. But these pockets are pretty wide, so I think I can dimensionalize it some. So I'm just gonna do it the easy way. Let me look and see. This one is a piece that goes here. Nope, it's this way. So this is this piece. So I'm gonna cut this piece out. Just a little different. It doesn't have to be exactly the same as the other one. But we are not going to make this a tuck now. We are actually going to put this one down. And I'm going to use as much of the design as I possibly can. And if you see, I did cut that leaf a little differently, but that's okay. Like I say, when you glue it down, the other stuff's going to come behind it, and that's going to make it look like it's a little distant in the background. If that makes sense to you. And I don't want to get in too big a hurry, but I'm trying not to make my videos so long anymore. I don't want to bore people to death. Alright, so now we're going to take this and figure out how the pattern originally was, which is right there. Which is right there. And I'm going to glue the whole thing down. Not just part of it, I'm going to glue the whole thing down. And again, my glue is clogging. Not being very nice to me this morning. But I have to have this little small tube because I don't like using a lot of glue. Sometimes this is very nice. I definitely got a clog in there. And I may have to do a hold and go get it out. But we'll get this one down, and then we'll look at the other one after I do a little pause. I hate pausing. But most of the time it's not noticeable because I do cut the pauses out of the video. Alright, let's go again one more time and see if we can get this lined up where it was. I know this was on this corner. Okay, there we go. We're going to line it up where we actually cut it off and just kind of give you a little bit of dimension there. It's not a lot, just a little bit of something. Okay, so there's that. I don't know if I want any lace on it or not. I don't think so. I don't think so. We might want a word up here. I don't know what kind of word. Would not be too Christmassy. Myrrh, Christmassy. Frankincense, that's too Christmassy. Nativity, candlelight, faith. I like the word faith. And I like the word cheerful. So we'll pull these out in case we want them. Alright. And because I've rounded this out, I'm going to see what this looks like rounded out. Just a tiny bit off the corner. So that it's not so square. Kind of unify the look here. And we can put faith here and generosity. Let's look how this is going to look inside. If we put this in here like so, I think I'm going to put it right there. Faith and generosity kind of asymmetrically. Okay. Let's do it just like that. And what you've done is added up a little bit of, I hate glue doing this. Come on, glue, just bear with me till I at least get this one done. And we'll take a little break. Definitely got a clot. Sorry, guys. All right, there we go. Look again. I don't want to mess up because I do want it to show. So put my card in there, line it back up, and line it up where it belongs. And we're going to do the face right about there. Okay, so there is one side of our centerfold. I'm going to pause a second, go unclog my glue, and we'll work on the second journal card. Give me just a minute, guys. We'll get this one in place and set it aside because we've got that one done. When you open it up, this is what you see. And my glue coming done. This is the problem I'm having, so make sure your glue doesn't get cold. Mine did, and this is what's happening. Okay, so I didn't press that down good either. So that's temporary for now, because we're still going to do one more thing to this. We're going to set it aside. I'm going to pause a minute, unstop my glue, and see if we can work a little faster. Okay, guys, I got my little glue unstuck. Let's get back. All right, now what we're going to do is take the scrap piece that we had set aside, and we're going to cut another journal card from that. So, again, we're going to put it in and measure. And our first cut, I'm taking a look, I don't have any print here to kind of measure by, so my next cut, let's see if we can get this really straight, is going to be right about, now I'm going to cut it a little wider than that. I'm going to tell you why, because I've got to cut some off that edge, so we want to be really precise as we can. And you're never going to be perfect, so don't ever think that I'm saying that, because it's not possible to be absolutely perfect with a cut. But I want to cut it right about there. And I have to be a little more careful this time because I'm cutting on the side. My blade's cutting on the side that we're going to keep. So I got to try to cut a little slower so I don't slide. And if you start using a blade, you'll understand what I'm saying, because sometimes it wants to slide into your cut. And my blade's a little dull. I need to snap off part of it, but I got it. All right, so we're going to do away with this piece. Don't need it. All right, so there's the first piece cut, and it's still, as you see, too wide. So we're going to come off a 1/4 inch off this back side, 1/4 inch off the bottom, and 1/4 inch off the top, approximately. I'm not saying exactly, I'm saying approximately. Okay? I've laid out a little bit of clip art that tags and stuff that I'm going to use on the inside. So for that sits up there. Right now, you'll see what I'm talking about. The videos ended up being longer, but it is because I've done 2 pages instead of 1. If I had only done 1 page, it wouldn't be this long. All right, again, I want to cut about 1/4 off, approximately off that bottom. Get it as close and match to that inside card, to that back page as we can. I don't want to offset the page any if we can help it. I think I cut that straight. That looks a little crooked to me. Let me look. Make sure we're not crooked. No, we're not. Just my eye didn't see it right. Alright, let's see if we're going to slide into our page like we should. It looks like we got to cut a little more off this back side. So that's what I said. I did cut the back side a little wider, but I'd rather have it a little longer and make this extra cut to be sure that it's right than to cut too much off and then it just not slide into the pocket properly. Okay. Looks like about, that does look crooked to me too now. One more time, we're going to see if our cards match up. Hopefully they will. It looks like it's going in where the gate is. No, it's not matching up as well as I want it to, but let me see. That's where you're going to check it right there. So, yep, we're pretty good, okay? We're in good shape. All right, now for the last bit, I need to measure, make sure it's all the way down where it's supposed to be. Okay, for the last bit, I want to cut it even with this page over here. So I'm going to put my ruler there and make my mark. I'm going to cut that much of it off. that doesn't look straight either, but we're going to go with the line on this table more than my mark, because I could have messed up. All right, cut the top off, and I think we have our original page back to somewhat the same, if not identical. I'm lining up right here if you're wondering what I'm doing, so that should be pretty much the same pattern, okay? This card's done. Let's don't do this card as intricate. Let's just let me show you a simple way that I do these cards. Get my glue book again. And my stick glue. I'm going to do this one just a tiny bit different, I think. I'm not going to think I'm going to put a pocket on this one. I think we're just going to cut it off so I can show you that part. Or, yeah, I'm going to do it this way. Now, just bear with me. Okay, let me get this out of the way. Make sure I got glue on my edges. I'm going to kind of center. Whoa, okay. I'm going to kind of center this. I'm just going to pinch my edge. Do I know where the center of that is? Okay. All right, and then I can just estimate the center of this. I'm going to get it right along that edge if I possibly can before I glue down. Okay, there we go. All right. Just a little different fold that you're going to get on this one. Then you're going to come over here. You're going to fold this one so that it's folded right there. Try to line it on my edge. Remember, you can always pull this edge and refold it. It's not, if it's sticking out. We don't want it sticking out. Okay, so there that is. And I knew this edge was a little crooked a while ago. So very carefully, I'm going to cut this little bit of white off without cutting my background paper. I do not want to cut my background paper. If I do, I'm going to be so mad with myself. So I'll cut that little sliver off. Okay, there we go. All right, now I'm going to fold this side in, like so. Like I say, it's just a little different fold on your journal card. But it still gives you all that writing space. That's what we were after, was writing space. All right, so there's your fold. A little crooked. It tells me my card was a little bit crooked, but you know what? We will utilize this just the same. I cut to perfection sometimes. Okay, there we go. All right, so there's our journal card. Cut off the top. We don't need that. Okay. Process is to trim the edges. I'm going around these edges. Okay, guys, this is, I think, part 6 of the series. I'm thinking this is part 6. So if you want to see more of how we've done this particular journal, you can go back to this whole series. I've made it into a whole series of journaling. But there you have that one. Now when you open up, you've got a large journaling space to write something. Put photos in, whatever, okay? So there's that one. Let's slide it into place. And there we have that one. And the last thing I want to do is actually just put one little tiny sticker on this one. And I am going to round this one off too. I didn't round that one, but I'm going to round this one too. I wish I had rounded the one on the bottom, but I didn't. And we're going to put that exactly in the same place on the opposite side, like this. About the same. Faithful, cheerful, And generosity is what we've got on our journaling spot. And if you wanted to put something else there, you could. I'm not going to, because what I'm going to do here, this is pretty much finished, guys. Now, if you really don't mind a distinction, you can go around and ink your cards. I'm not, because I do not want a major distinction. You can tell that there's something here without inking. All right, so, but you have not, absolutely have not lost any of your actual designer page pattern. It's all there the way we've designed this. So now I'm going to go in, I'm going to open this one up. And just to show you, I will do the back of this one with a piece of journaling paper. I don't need a double side. This one I need a single side. I'm going to glue this down. I need my glue book again. I just don't want to mess up my desk. So I'm going to glue this piece like this and just make this card into a journaling card. Now this particular, excuse me, my glue gun fell. This particular pattern here, tag, come from Ink and Page Kit, which we're using some of her stuff in my book. So I will go ahead and tell you on this video that this is Ink and Page. But we're going to make it into another little journaling card, and that is going to go into our pocket on the inside of our main card for this centerfold. Just like this. And again, you can print 2 of these if you wanted to, and cut out the pattern here and dimensionalize it. I'm not going to for time sake on the video. But that goes in there, so there you got another thing you need to add a picture to, or you can journal on. Me, I really love to take things like this and glue it down, but that's too quick to see. Let me grab something that doesn't have words. I probably don't have anything small enough, but what I'm trying to say is I like to take small graphic pieces. There's something. And I like this, and I'm going to grab it. And I like to just add something else to my pages. Alright, so we're going to stick with winter, as the bunnies don't look too Christmassy. So what I'm going to do is just decorate. You can actually decorate the band page. I'm going to decorate by putting just a little piece of something on the inside of that. Again, people do ask me when they see me use my stamps where I get my edging from. What I have purchased is the Fisher's paper edger. It's the mini pinking shears. So that's what makes my stamps so real looking. Alright, so there's that. So we have decorated our beautiful journaling card here. And on this one, we're just going to add a little something, and I don't know what, but you can decorate the front of this or whatever. So let's just take a pretty card here, and I'm going to make it a tuck. That's right, I'm going to just make this inside flap a little tuck right here. All right, give me some decoration to it so that it's not so they can tuck a photo or something into there and then open up and write a story about what the photo was. Tuck the photo in there, okay? Just an idea, okay? Turn your card back around, put it back in. And then for these outside tuck spots, I also have more journaling cards. You can just place them in the tucks like so and make nice journaling cards for somebody. Give somebody some extra journaling cards. All right, let's put it back in our book and our centerfold for our winter journal. This is only signature 1 now. Remember, I've got 4 signatures for this journal, so I'm nowhere near finished, but I'm probably not going to do all the journal pages with you guys. So we will come at the end when I finish the book, and we will come in and go through a whole flip through. But that's that one. We're not finished by any means, even with this one, but it's starting to get a little chunky. But there is the centerfold that you guys can take from if you've used the designer page in the center. That is how you can utilize it, making it the same where you don't lose your design, but you actually added elements. So this is NanaKaye saying thanks for watching. Please make a comment and subscribe if you're new. make a comment, watch the whole video, help me get myself monetized. I really need to get monetized so I can retire from my other job. I appreciate all you guys, and thanks for watching. Come back again. Bye-bye.